Hey guys, and welcome to our review of Boruto, Naruto Next Generations. I'm your host, the Cinder Blaze, and with me today we have...
Makotoa.
Alright, let's jump right into episode 50. Man, it's surprising that it's been this long. I think it's been exactly a year since Naruto Shippuden ended.
Wow.
Yeah, this is actually pretty trippy, and
Yeah.
honestly, I really like the pace they took with the show. Like, I really didn't want them to kind of like just jump into Boruto as like this kind of just train like driving through the plot and stuff. I kind of wanted to kind of like take a chill, kind of like get used to characters, so we have like a really strong foundation and kind of like have this. We have another journey with them, because like with Naruto, I feel like we kind of like rushed, or we didn't rush. It was just like a different time, and we had more source material to get through. That like we kind of like rushed through all the plot, and then we just had filler, And for this one, I feel like we can space it out a little bit more. Just have like a giant journey for Boruto, and as the 50th episode, this served as a recap episode, so we can kind of like see it from like the wider picture.
That's true.
How do you feel about about Boruto as a series? Because like this is the recap episode. We can't really talk about much aside from that. Really,
I guess you're right. Boruto as a series. So, I have come to the episode 50 point. Looking back, I think when it first started, I had fears, and I had hopes. Fears that the show would just drag through filler constantly. Fears that the show's animation quality was going to be crap like Shippuden filler. Also fears... No, actually. Also fears... I mean, the other fears developed as I went along, where it was like, why isn't this show hitting these emotional beats like I want it to? Why aren't we getting these, like, moments of tension like we did in Naruto? Why isn't the music hitting us in the same ways? It's just there's kind of this watered down version of Naruto here going on. I don't know, like,
yeah,
but I will say the animation did not devolve too bad. Like, it seems that each episode they save it for the fights, and it seems like they budget it well. Like, I haven't felt like the animation has been glaring to me like I have in the past. So things have stabilized well enough. So I'm not too upset with the animation anymore. Like, when they really want to show a good fight, they show it pretty decent. What were my other points? That the show had no tension? Well, that hasn't changed. But hopefully, I'm still hopeful, apparently, because even 50 episodes in, now that we've made it this far and we're about to hit the tuning exams, this is where the plot really is going to start moving, and we can actually, hopefully, feel like there's some kind of stakes, that there's some kind of danger.
yeah.
And that's one of the biggest flaws I have for the show right now, is that we don't really feel like they're in any kind of danger, even when they're supposed to be.
Just to put some context on Boruto's 50th episode. Guess what happened in Naruto for its 50th episode?
What, Sasuke left the village? I don't know.
That happened a little bit further down the route.
Tuning
But
exams?
yes, particularly Gaara versus Rock Lee when he unlocks the 5th gate.
Oh.
That was Naruto's
That was
50th
Naruto's
episode.
50th episode. Boruto's 50th episode is recap.
Yeah, but Boruto hasn't had a lot of recap. But like, that's probably because I'm super biased, because Vrains has had 4 recap episodes and it's only on episode 40 something right now. But for Boruto, like, this anime came out at a different time, so like I can't hold it up like the same standard as it did with Naruto. I'm like, yeah, like, I'm lowering down my standards, and Naruto is so much better than Boruto, but it's like, it's a different type of anime. It's not like the whole same kind of like hero's journey where we're like kind of thrust into like this troubled society or anything like that. It's just everything's chill, and we're kind of like hanging out with the characters we love from like the previous series. And like for this recap episode, when like all the senseis are kind of like talking about their teams and stuff, like one thing I did like about this episode, where we're not just talking about the recaps, is like all of them are super fond of their teams. Like we haven't had that from like in Naruto Shippuden. Like they're the senseis. Like in the tuning exams, whenever I thought of like Kurenai Sensei and like Asuma, they were just their senseis, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like there was no real bond that's been developed aside from like Lee and Guy, which is something that no ordinary people should share.
Yeah. It's a bond, not like many others.
Yeah, and probably like the ending of this episode is probably like my favorite part overall, because just the way that Konohamaru and Hanabi kind of bonded over their mutual love of Boruto. Just like him individually, and like when Konohamaru said like, "I love it when that dude calls me Big Brother," I was like, I love it when he calls you Big Brother, dude.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, I had to like when they were getting tipsy and drunk and stuff, and just just enjoying their mutual love for Boruto. I don't know. It felt very wholesome and pure. So I didn't even feel the need to ship them.
Yeah.
It was weird. As much as like it could have been shipped, I didn't feel the need to. It just felt wholesome to me that they just have this mutual love for their little brother, like.
Well, nephew, little brother.
Yeah. Right. Onisa.
But like that's one of the things I think Boruto does have over Naruto at this point. Just like the universe as a whole is kind of like built a lot more, and when I was rewatching a bit of like the old Naruto stuff, and one of the things I really liked about that series is that we didn't know a lot about anything, but we kind of knew the direction where it could go, right? But for this one, it's just like we kind of like know everything. I just want to see it, and this is one of those moments where it's like, hey, like was it Boruto always calls Konohamaru his like older brother, and he always calls Hanabi his older sister and stuff like that. I kind of want to see them kind of have more slice of life moments, focusing on that. I mean, stuff
this is like the alternate reality Naruto, where he actually grew up with his parents around. He still was a mischievous little kid, but like he grew up with family, right? He grew up with people who loved him and lots of friends and stuff. This is Boruto is that, like, in a sense, you get to sort of almost fulfill that desire to see Naruto grow up loved and by everybody around him, and now we're seeing it. I don't know if that's why we've lasted this long and we've forgiven it for all these other flaws, is because like all this time we've just wished Naruto had a better life, and now we get to see his son, which is one letter away from his name, like kind of like an incarnation of him here actually living it, right? And it's almost like you're enjoying it as I'm repeating myself, but that is kind of how it feels almost. I think there's lots of people out there who still wish that we had conflict, or at least conflict that had tension, that we felt the same fear or like tension. I'm going to reuse the word a million times for the characters or for the situation at the time. Like I said, I'm hoping that tuning exams will let that happen more for this show. I expect it to. I really do. If it doesn't, that's when I'm going to be really disappointed.
Yeah, and honestly, like the timing of this episode is probably like the best it could probably have, because a lot of people who just want to see the plot of Boruto.
There you go. You're right. Yeah.
They don't really care about these first 50 episodes. Like, yeah, it does have like the Mitsuki and Sarada backstories, which are pretty interesting, but they can probably watch that on their own through like an episode each and stuff. But like for people who kind of want to just jump into the plot, we can just like watch this recap episode, be acquainted with like everything that kind of happened, and boom, you start in the tuning exams, which is probably happening very soon. Like, I'm not sure how much longer, but I'm really looking forward to it.
Yeah.
All right. Do you have any final thoughts for this recap episode?
I think there was something I actually wanted to comment about.
Shino and his bugs.
Shino and the bugs.
Kind of like that call at the end. The Naruto god. He's like, yeah, I just got back in the office. What? Oh, Shino got drunk and his bugs are everywhere. He's like, God.
Yeah. That was pretty great. I think, what was it? There was something else that happened during this episode. I think it was that, like, we discussed how Konohamaru is being overprotective of Boruto, but we didn't kind of talk about how that was the reason why he doesn't want to accept them into the tuning exams. And I'm just thinking here,
yeah.
That's cute, but like, are you kidding me? Of all of these teams, they are more ready than anybody else. They are so overpowered, and like they're saying, oh yeah, these, this is the troublemaking. We haven't had such troublemakers in a while, and it's like, bro, that's because they're OP. Like, you can't, and you're trying to hold them back. Like, are you kidding? I loved the Twin Tails girl reasoning. She's like, well, shoot, yeah, like if they need to, what did she say? It was pretty much an argument that if they fail, then what does that mean? That they weren't ready, or no, that's right. These kids are too soft. They haven't actually been in a situation where their lives were really at stake, and they've gone up against somebody who is head and shoulders above their level. That's what he was talking about for Boruto.
Yeah, that's what Konami said. Like,
yeah, that's what
the only
Konohamaru
ways
said.
they've succeeded were just like luck, or
yeah,
it didn't matter. Like, even with like
I
that
love
Rogue Ninja.
that this episode addressed that, because that is one of my biggest problems with the show, is that these kids kind of have just been excelling at everything, so they don't know what it is to be actually afraid. I don't know, like, they've just managed to do everything and go through things just fine, and we haven't hit that, like, tuning exams Orochimaru moment where he just, like, paralyzes everyone in fear, and freaking, like, bites, Sasuke on the neck, and everyone's like, he stabs himself in the leg just so that he can, like, all of that craziness. We haven't seen a smidge of that, and I do like that Konohamaru was like, they don't know what real war is. They don't know what real danger is. But that's not an argument to say that they shouldn't participate in the tuning exams. It's an argument that they should. They might meet somebody who's around their age level that can put up a good fight and maybe, wake them up. Because how else is this gonna happen?
Yeah. Like, that's usually where they find a lot of those trials, but when you think about, like, in the regular Naruto series, like, their whole mission with Zabuza, that was a really, like, pressing trial for them. Mm-hmm. Boruto and gang never really had that trial, and, like, Konohamaru kind of understands that, which I'm kind of, like, glad that he does kind of, like, show the characteristics of a sensei. Like, he's really aware of, like, his students' growth and stuff. And, like, for the other teachers, they kind of saw that as well in their respective teams. Like, yeah, I guess they're not nearly as strong, like, especially with stuff like Hanabi's team. Like, they're probably the weakest out of all the teams, but they did manage to kind of, like, come together and, like, bolster up their strength as a team to kind of overcome a problem. For Boruto's team, I feel like a lot of it was, like, relying on luck, and that one fight with the Rogue Ninja, that one in particular just, like, always gets me, because you have a Sharingan user, you have Boruto, and you have, like, Mitsuki's probably Jonin level already. So, like,
right.
And it's already been established by Kakashi that Boruto's around a tuning level already.
Right.
Like, Sarada, like, probably the same, because Sharingan.
And she's just got the overpowered just physical strength from her mother as well, like the chakra control.
Yeah, but, like, Sakura had that too when she was her age, and she was kind of useless, so it's like, whatever. Yeah, like, I completely understand, like, Konohamaru's kind of, like, holding his team back, but, like, I guess when he kind of knows that like the other senseis are like, yeah, let's like send our teams, he's probably gonna send them as well, because just like they're more than you know, more than enough to be prepared for that exam compared to those teams. So it's like, why not? Maybe something will happen.
Head and shoulders above, yeah.
Yeah.
But
Can't wait for the June exams. I hope it's a lot longer than the movie.
yeah, I mean, it pretty much has to be. They won't let such an opportunity to like stretch it out past. There's no way.
Yeah, give me all those fillers.
I am totally fine with it, because it's not going to be filler to me. This is tuning exam. This is their development for all these characters, even the side ones that may not seem as relevant. It's fine with me. These characters are part of the main plot of the story. Just because it's about Boruto, like you said, it's not necessarily just about him anymore. It's about like the whole group. You know, this show. I think, when did you say that? That wasn't this episode. It might have been the previous episode review, but
yeah. All right. Well, I guess that is our final thoughts for this episode. So make sure to like, comment, and subscribe down below, and check out our description for all our social media and Discord and links of the sort.
Yep.
We'll catch you next time. Keep it juicy.
See you later.